All bulls are big, you definitely wouldn't want to fight one. But some are even bigger than average. Some are real beasts. These are the 20 biggest bulls in the world. But before we start, be sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Now, let's get started. Number 20. Texas Longhorn. The Texas Longhorn is a breed of bull that was actually developed in the United States. Its ancestors were cattle that arrived on the continent about 500 years ago, and they evolved through a combination of natural selection, that is, the few cows that actually survived those early years, and the rest was apparently thanks to how they managed to adapt to the environment. In fact, some say that this cattle became fully adapted to the American landscape without human intervention, but that's a bit debatable since it's a domesticated breed, fed and cared for by people. But what do I know? I just talk on the internet. When the North American buffalo population was devastated during the Civil War era, the Texas Longhorn was introduced to take over the grassy fields left empty in the Great Plains. And that's what made the Texas Longhorn the dominant beef cattle breed in the United States. Nowadays, these bulls bear little resemblance to the historic Longhorns, as they have been widely crossbred by humans to make them more productive and docile, rather than hardy and long-lived. So, while they still look like their ancestors, these guys don't come close to them in many ways. Now, these bulls really do have horns in every sense. Not only do they grow enormous horns on their heads, averaging at least 1.2 meters from tip to tip, sometimes reaching up to 1.8 meters, but they're also very active when it comes to breeding. Females can start conceiving at around 16 months of age, and this breed has a reproductive period twice as long as most other cattle breeds. And they definitely don't have any problems in the horn department. Number 19. Brahman. The Brahman not only descends from the sacred cattle of India, but it's also a cow that sweats a lot. That's right. These cows are real walking sweat machines. Being sacred cattle isn't easy. After all, they have to deal with parasites, diseases, poor nutrition, and India's crazy weather conditions. Because of that, this cattle developed into very tough creatures. These resilient traits are what attract cattle breeders, and that's how the modern American Brahman came to be. This cattle has the same physical characteristics as the Bos indicus, the official name of the sacred cow, and can be recognized by the large hump above their shoulders and neck. They come in a variety of colors, from light gray to red and almost black. Their short, shiny coat is one of the adaptations that give them an advantage in their environment. It reflects the sun's heat, allowing them to graze even in the heat of the day. This, combined with loose excess skin and an increased number of sweat glands, helps these cattle keep their body temperature low. Besides being super sweaty, Brahmans also produce an oily secretion that's excellent at repelling insects. These creatures have a, well, unique smell, let's say. Number 18. Belgian Blue. Basically, all kinds of elite cows and horses are genetically modified in some way. Artificial selection is just the old-school version of science to develop breeds that are tougher, faster, or have better meat. Nowadays, we do this with white lab coats and petri dishes instead of a farmer in the field with 2 bulls. Sorry to disappoint you, but the Belgian Blue isn't exactly blue. At least, not blue like the sky or a sapphire. Although maybe it's blue with sadness, which is a shame. To me, it just looks like a regular cow. But for sure, it's a very muscular cow. Known as the most muscular cattle breed in the world, the Belgian Blue was literally bred to be as bulky as possible to gain weight and produce huge cuts of meat. These bulky bulls usually weigh around 1,200 kilograms or more. That's a lot of meat. These animals were developed from a specific mutant gene that favors the production of lean, abundant meat. But when you start looking closer, it almost sounds like a horror story, doesn't it? Once again, humans have tampered with the animal's natural physiology to gain more benefits for themselves. That's the pattern with all these giant animals. They don't get absurdly big without a little help from humans, right? Number 17. Chianina. When cattle are considered the biggest of all, you already know it's not going to end well for them. In the eyes of humans, a big bull just means more steaks, burgers, or even pastrami. So it's not a good idea to become the tallest and heaviest breed in the world, unless you don't mind not making it to adulthood. But someone has to hold the title of the largest cattle breed on the planet, and the winner, unfortunately for it, is the Chianina. These giants have been bred for over 2,000 years in the Italian regions of Lazio, Umbria, and Tuscany. Back in the day, they were used as draft animals. Their strong bodies were ideal for pulling plows, carts, and other loads across the mountainous terrain of central Italy. But with the industrialization of agriculture, the use of these bulls in the fields went downhill. Bad for them, because now their huge, juicy bodies started being seen as perfect for making a beautiful bistecca alla Fiorentina. Fiorentina, or as you know it, Florentine steak. And since these colossal bulls can weigh 1,600 kilograms or more and reach up to 2 meters tall, that's a lot of meat, my friend. Number 16. Aberdeen Angus. Although this cattle breed originated in Scotland, hence the name Aberdeen, today it's truly an international breed. In fact, Angus, as it's known outside the UK, is one of the most popular beef cattle breeds in the United States. These bulls are certainly among the biggest and highest quality in the world. They are famous for their impressive genetic lineage. Many of the animals alive today can trace their ancestry back to a particularly prolific breeding pair from the 19th century known as Old Jock and Old Granny. The Angus breed has a long history and even had encounters with royalty, and not just on the dinner plate. In 1876, an Aberdeen Angus named Black Prince won the top prize at the Birmingham and Smithfield fairs. As a result, he was invited to Windsor Castle to be personally inspected by Queen Victoria. Yes, it might sound strange, but everything involving royalty tends to be a bit weird if you stop to think about it. It got even more bizarre when the very bull the Queen met that day was later turned into cuts of meat and sent as a Christmas gift to the monarch. Sometimes being the champion bull isn't all it's cracked up to be, right? Number 15. Brangus. Believe it or not, here we have the Brangus, a super creative name that comes, guess what? From the combination of Brahman plus Angus. That's right, well done. Genius. It might sound like a joke, but this is a blend made with millimeter-precise genetic engineering. Brangus bulls have a genetic makeup of 3/8 Brahman and 5/8 Angus. The idea behind this is simple. Brahman is resistant to disease and heat, while Angus, well, it's very tasty. Putting the two together is basically an attempt to create the ultimate cow, or at least the best possible cattle for livestock production. This crossbreed was mainly developed in the United States during the 1930s, and it's still common today. They have the loose skin of the Brahman, a bit of that distinctive hump, and Brahman's natural resilience. At the same time, they have the robust build of the Angus, with lean meat and great ability to gain weight. Number 14. Parthnese. Believed to be one of the oldest cattle breeds in France, the Parthnese was traditionally raised for its high-quality milk, especially used in butter production. However, in 1970, the Breed Association decided to shift the focus to developing animals with high-quality meat. I imagine the cows must have been super excited about that change, right? Nowadays, the Parthnese is valued for its so-called meat qualities. Yes, that's the technical term. These qualities are evaluated based on carcass yield, net yield, bone structure, and meat tenderness. When you hear these classifications, meat production and animal breeding gain a whole new perspective, at least for me. If you're used to seeing meat just wrapped in plastic at the supermarket, it's inevitable to reflect a little more on where it comes from. Imagine it walking around being judged for its meat qualities. Anyway, this is kind of morbid and is already making me lose my appetite, so let's get back to enjoying the size of these beasts while they're still alive, okay? They are definitely a large breed, but not nearly as bulky as the Belgian Blue. The bulls can weigh over 1,270 kilograms, while the cows reach about 900 kilograms. Still, that's a respectable big bull. Number 13. Simmental. These bulls can trace their history back to the Middle Ages if they ever want to stop by the library and research their own family tree. The Simmental breed arose from crossing large German cattle with a smaller native Swiss breed. The name comes from the Sima Valley, located in the Berner Oberland region, where these cattle were first bred. They are relatively large. Almost every bull is big, right? Especially if it's coming at you full of excited curiosity. These bulls with an imposing build usually weigh around 1,300 kilograms and stand nearly 1.65 meters tall. Their muscular and robust bodies are quite intimidating, so it's best not to jump any fences in fields where they're grazing. Here's a tip. Be careful where you lay your picnic blanket next time you decide to have an impromptu fondue in a Swiss valley. Number 12. South Devon. Originating from an area of Devon County called South Hams, not to be confused with North Devon please, they're as different as North and South, literally, this breed has been grazing pasture for at least 400 years. South Devons were even on board the Mayflower on its voyage to America in 1620 and supplied the British Royal Navy during the Napoleonic Wars. Although the breed has existed overseas for centuries, it only spread throughout the UK during the 20th century. Nowadays, these bulls are raised almost exclusively for beef, although they were milked up until shortly after World War II. The South Devon is the largest British cattle breed. It has a large build, slower maturation, and is very muscular. They usually have horns and can be recognized by their curly, deep red coat with copper highlights. These bulls have thick, loose skin and are famous for their high-quality lean meat. Number 11. Monelliard. So, how are you doing on this adventure through the giant bulls of the world? Enjoying the ride? Because there's more to come. Who would have thought there were so many giant bulls, right? Well, here's another one to please the eyes of cattle lovers, the Monelliard. Yes, as you probably guessed, it's a French bull. Interestingly, French cows don't say moo. No, these bovines are much more refined and prefer to sing a soft, French Welsh-like lowing. Just kidding. Or maybe not. Jokes aside, let's get to the real facts about this big guy. Until the mid-19th century, the breed was known as Alsatian, but then it went through an identity crisis and adopted the more elegant name Monelliard. Whatever the name, this is an impressive breed, a cow that produces the milk used to make the famous French cheeses Emmental and Gruyere. So let's be honest, it deserves a medal. Although they're famous for their milk, and in case you didn't know, bulls don't produce any of that, there's also a certain market for their meat. The males of the breed sometimes have the bad luck of becoming veal at only 3 months old. Others manage to live until 14 or 15 months before becoming barbecue. So even though they're a reasonably sized breed, few of these bulls live long enough to show how much they could really grow. Well, that's enough to spoil the mood, or sour the mimolette, if we're going to stay in the French spirit. Number 10. Brangford. Here we go again with hybrid combinations and creative names. Cows have been blending names long before celebrity couples started inventing combined surnames. Brangford is a classic example, a mix of Hereford bulls and the already well-known Brahman. Ah, now I get it, the name Brahman plus Hereford equals Brangford. How creative! This breed started being developed by 2 breeding enthusiasts in Florida back in 1947. At first, the initial crossbreeds had problems with their eyes, hooves, and didn't adapt well to Florida's hot climate. But over time, they managed to select desired traits and began producing calves that met the requirements. Oh, fun, right? Brangfords are usually red, with white heads, bellies, and feet. Their robust build comes from the Brahman side, while the coloring is inherited from the Hereford. These bulls are mainly raised for beef, but occasionally they're chosen as rodeo bulls, which guarantees them a little extra time before the inevitable. The females are great mothers and also good milk producers, able to nurse and calve for longer periods than the average of other breeds. Point for them. Number 9. Maine. Rouge des Prés. This is a breed that has gone through several names over time. But whatever the name, the fact is that this is a cow known for being docile and very good for beef production. Oh, and the bulls? They can get really huge, weighing around 1,130 kilograms. These cattle come from the northwest of France, where they were originally called Maine Anjou. Today, they are known as Rouge des Prés, but back in the day, in the region, the cattle were called Mansell. These cows became popular because they were easy to fatten and easy to sell. A certain French landowner decided these qualities could be improved even more and, of course, make more profit. That's when a crossbreeding program started, and the breed chosen for this project was the British Durham. For a while, the resulting bulls were called Brace Yourself, Mansell Durham, or even Mainsell. Yeah, it's hard to handle so much creativity, right? But that name didn't last long, it wasn't French enough. So they renamed them a whirlwind of name changes, until finally they spread worldwide and became a staple on dinner plates in the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, France, and the United Kingdom. Number 8. Limuzanne. The Limuzanne is an ancient cattle breed, perfect for the laziest farmer. It might even be the closest relative to those bulls drawn in caves, in rock paintings over 20,000 years old. Yes, this breed is really old. Raised in pastoral conditions, the Limuzanne was used as a draft animal and, of course, for its tasty meat. These muscular bulls are extremely hardy and, historically, were left out in the open even during winter, while other breeds in European climates had to be sheltered. No wonder the breed survived so well and today has spread all over the world. But how big is a Limuzanne bull? Well, the average is about 1,000 kilograms of pure muscle, and their body shape only emphasizes their incredible size even more. Yeah, these bulls are truly monsters. Number 7. Bazadays. Originating from the town of Bazas, this breed eventually spread across a vast region of France. The Bazaday is an animal with exceptional adaptability. These bulls can live in various conditions, from plains to mountains over 2,200 meters in altitude. And the most impressive part, they are resistant to extreme temperatures, both heat and cold. Nothing seems to bother them much. Oh, and on top of that, they have a natural anti-tick system. It's like a complete bull, premium version. In the past, they were used as work animals, but today, as our appetite for meat seems endless, they are raised almost exclusively for that purpose. The Bazaday's meat is considered lean, but with good marbling and refined flavor, if you're the type who appreciates those things. Number 6. Chevre. Chevre, common in France since the 16th century, but probably existing since the year 878 AD. This is one of those breeds that have always been around. Like other European cattle, the Chevre was used for everything: heavy work, meat, and even milk. Traditionally, Chevre are white, but nowadays there are also black and red variations. This bull is enormous, with a deep and broad body, a short and wide head, and impressive musculature on the hips and loin. They have white hair, a pink snout, and light-colored hooves. When it comes to meat animals, the Chevre is considered one of the best in the world. It stands out in all important criteria. Carcass weight. Yes, that's the official name. High yield in boning. Even though the name sounds cheerful, it's not fun at all. Ideal indexes of fat, color, and marbling. So, if you ever see cattle in the field and think, wow, that bull must have a good life, think twice. There's always someone with a clipboard measuring the pH of the meat before the poor creature even knows the end is near. Known for always being in a bad mood. Number 5. German Angus. Now tell me, can you guess how this breed came to be? Tough, right? But give it a try. You got it, genius. The German Angus is the result of crossing native German cattle with the famous Aberdeen Angus. No rocket science here, okay? And what do we get from this big German bull? Does it fly? Dance ballet? Actually, no. It's just like all the other bulls on this entire list. Wow, how exciting, right? The German Angus is, once again, beef cattle, raised mainly for meat. No surprises here. The choice to cross a German cow with Angus is pretty logical. The goal was to create a bigger, stronger, and meatier bull. And let's be honest, that's exactly what we're looking for in this kind of animal, right? Number 4. Pinsgower. With a flashy name like that, let's hope this bull has something interesting about it. The Pinsgower comes from Austria and can trace its origins way back to 800 BC when the Celts roamed those lands. So, it definitely has plenty of history. And guess what? Yes, these bulls are also famous for their meat qualities. Weird phrase, right? Pinsgower bulls are real big guys, easily weighing over 900 kilograms. The females are more modest, ranging between 450 and 725 kilograms. But what makes this breed stand out from the crowd? It's their feet, or rather, their hooves. Pinsgowers have super tough hooves, which allows them to walk long distances, something useful in the mountainous terrain of Austria. They also have a reddish coat with natural protection against cold heat and even UV radiation. In other words, they're incredibly tough, able to face the harshest Austrian mountain climates without losing style. Number 3. Normande. Normande, the Viking breed that became an icon of French livestock. The Normande breed has a fascinating history dating back to the 9th and 10th centuries when Viking invaders arrived in the Normandy region of northern France. These Nordic warriors, besides their military conquests, also brought with them cattle adapted to the harsh climate of northern Europe. Gradually, this Viking cattle began to be crossed with local French breeds, resulting in a unique type that would become the Normande breed we know today. The modern version of the Normande was officially recognized around 1883, when breeders began selecting specimens with better traits for both milk and meat production, two qualities that stand out in this breed. Normandy, with its temperate climate and abundant pastures, became the ideal setting for the development and improvement of this dual-purpose breed. However, the fate of the Normande almost turned tragic during World War II. During the Allied invasion of Normandy in 1944, famously known as D-Day, the region suffered enormous devastation. Many herds were decimated due to the fighting, destruction of pastures, and difficulties in keeping the animals alive. The Normande cattle, a symbol of the region, nearly became extinct, but thanks to the efforts of dedicated breeders and recovery programs, the breed managed to rebound. Today, it is estimated that about 3 million head exist in France alone, a true success story of genetic and cultural recovery. The Normande is a medium-sized breed, with bulls typically weighing between 900 and 1,100 kilograms, while females range from 540 to 680 kilograms. This size difference reflects the robustness and musculature that make Normandy bulls particularly valued for crossbreeding and genetic improvement. The breed's biggest highlight lies in its dual-purpose aptitude, both milk and meat production. Regarding milk, the Normande is one of the key players in the famous French cheese industry. Renowned cheeses such as Camembert, Pont-l'Évêque, and Livarot, all originating from Normandy, are produced with high-quality milk supplied by these cows. France has a gastronomic culture where cheese is a true national passion, and milk quality is a decisive factor for the flavor and texture of these delicacies. In other countries, such as the United States, the Normande is highly valued as beef cattle due to its excellent body conformation and carcass quality, the term used to describe the part of the animal processed into meat. Its well-distributed musculature and efficient weight gain capacity make the Normande a strategic choice for beef producers. Beyond economic production, the Normande is also known for its hardiness and disease resistance, traits inherited from the ancient Viking bulls that needed to survive in harsh and adverse environments. This hardiness makes the Normande a versatile breed, capable of adapting to different climates and farming systems, which expands its use worldwide. Another interesting point about the Normande breed is its distinctive coat, generally a white base with reddish or yellowish spots, giving it a very typical and easily recognizable look in the field. This pattern is also valued in cattle competitions and shows, where appearance counts in genetic evaluation. Currently, the Normande remains one of the most important breeds for French livestock, representing not only a cultural heritage linked to Normandy's history and the Vikings, but also a fundamental economic pillar for farmers and dairy and meat industries. So, when you think of Normandy, don't limit yourself to images of beaches and medieval castles. Remember also the Normande cattle, descendants of ancient Nordic invaders who conquered not only lands, but also earned a prominent place in the history of global livestock. Number 2. Mura, the champion dairy buffalo. The Mura is a breed of water buffalo scientifically known as Bubulus bubulus. More than just a strange name, this breed stands out worldwide for its impressive milk production capacity, ranking as one of the most valued in global dairy farming. Originating mainly from the Punjab region, which covers parts of India and Pakistan, the Mura has adapted over centuries to the climatic and environmental conditions of South Asia, where buffalo farming is traditionally very important. The history of the Mura dates back to ancient times, when local farmers realized that these animals not only showed resistance to hot and humid climates, but also produced a significant amount of milk, much higher than other cattle and buffalo breeds. Over time, the Mura was carefully selected to enhance these traits, becoming the primary dairy buffalo in several countries. One of the most impressive facts about the Mura is the world record for milk production, set at a farm in the Punjab region of India, where a single Mura buffalo produced an astonishing 26.35 kilograms of milk in one day. This extraordinary feat highlights the Mura's potential to transform dairy farming, especially in regions where cow rearing may be limited due to climatic conditions. Visually, the Mura has a shiny black coat that may feature small white marks, primarily on the face and the extremities of the legs. Its neck is thick and muscular, unlike the thin, long neck of common cows, giving the animal a robust and powerful appearance. Males can reach weights of around 550 kilograms, while females usually weigh about 450 kilograms. Besides physical traits, the Mura is recognized for its gentle temperament and relatively calm behavior, characteristics that facilitate management on farms, even with large herds. This combination of productivity and docility makes the Mura an excellent choice for producers seeking efficiency and simplified handling. The primary use of the Mura is milk production, which is especially rich in fat and protein, making it ideal for manufacturing dairy products such as cheeses, yogurts, and other high-quality dairy goods. Mura buffalo milk has superior nutritional properties compared to cow's milk, including higher calcium levels, making it popular among consumers seeking more nutritious food options. Although in India and neighboring countries the main focus is milk production, in Brazil the Mura is also raised for meat production, showcasing its versatility. However, dairy remains the predominant industry, which holds enormous economic and social importance. In Brazil, for example, the breed was introduced through genetic improvement programs to increase the productivity of local herds. Managing Mura buffaloes requires specific care. Due to their adaptation to tropical climates, they need environments with shade, good quality water, and adequate nutrition to ensure maximum performance. The diet usually includes quality pasture, bran, concentrates, and mineral supplements essential for maintaining health and milk production. Another important aspect is the Mura's resistance to certain diseases, which helps reduce veterinary costs compared to more sensitive breeds. This resistance, combined with productive capacity, makes the Mura ideal for small and medium-sized producers who want high productivity with low operational costs. Beyond production and robustness, the Mura also plays a fundamental role in rural economies and supports many families worldwide, especially in India, which is one of the largest producers of buffalo milk globally. Raising Mura buffaloes generates employment, income, and contributes to food security for local populations. In summary, the Mura buffalo is a clear example of how genetic selection, combined with environmental adaptation and efficient management, can create a breed capable of revolutionizing an agricultural sector. It is not just an animal for milk production, but a symbol of the importance of sustainable and productive livestock farming in regions facing climatic and economic challenges. Its legacy and contribution to nutrition and the economy are sources of pride for breeders and researchers alike. Number 1. Batard. After so many bulls, it's time for the biggest and therefore the best, which we've saved for the grand finale for you, bovine fans. This is Batard, a monstrously large bull, the biggest and fattest in the whole world. He's a Rouge de Pré, which we've seen before, weighing an unbelievable 1,949 kilograms, 4,299 pounds. Seriously, what are they feeding this guy? Batard is famous in France, especially among rural producers. He made his first appearance at the International Agricultural Fair in Paris in 2016, where he showed that he was the biggest around. At that time, he was 5.5 years old and impressed everyone with his colossal size. Definitely not an animal to mess with, because he could crush anyone if he wanted to. So, let's hope he stays chill. This isn't the story of just any bull, he is huge. And they say he's hung like a bull, meaning he has huge attributes, if you catch my drift. Forgive all these bull puns, the possibilities for bad jokes are endless. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out some other interesting videos that are appearing right now on your screen, and I'll see you in the next one. See you next time.